Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We are going to really just dive right into your reading. See what messages Spirit has for you today. For Pisces, please Spirit. For Pisces. Please show us what Pisces needs to know. What does Pisces need to know? Okay. Guys, I am feeling a lot of energy around communication. This came out, it didn't come all the way out of the deck, but it turned sideways, mommy issues. You know, sometimes that is just unhealed childhood wounding. But I do feel that there is some kind of communication coming in, some kind of explanation as to why someone couldn't do something. You know, I feel the energy of making peace here with something. I don't know if this is you or if this is the other person or if this is the two of you together sort of, you know, clearing the air and having some kind of, like coming to some kind of agreement. It seems like it's going to happen relatively quickly. I feel that this frees you up or them up or both of you up to kind of be just more relaxed in life, be more present, go with the flow. This feels like something that's like kind of weighing heavy on the mind, that is, it's dragging. And you know, if you are someone who is feeling this, but you're also in the back of your mind kind of like hearing your intuition say your person is not capable of this or won't do this, or this is not who your person is. This can also be an energy for me of like coming to peace with things and acceptance as they are, almost like a turning of the corner. Like we go through healing processes, right? And you know, a lot of the things that I offer on this channel are like the stories that I tell or the philosophies or the, you know, ways of navigating or the things that I've learned through my experience. When I share them on the channel, I think sometimes, you know, I'm in no way trying to say like, oh, it's just this easy, because it's not. You have to get it. It is simple in a way. I have meditated and I see that life is actually very simple in its way. But you have to process through, you have to sludge through, you know, kind of go through the heavy, deep stuff to get to a space where you are ready for that part of the process, right? So there's a lot of work that happens before we get there. And this feels like coming to a new place where you can really I just keep getting like turn a key, where you can, where you're moving into the next echelon of your process, or you are really closing part of a past process. Like, all right. And this is freeing you up to be more fully present, to be more lighthearted, to be more kind of just in a space to really appreciate what is happening now. Sometimes we have to kind of come to a place of peace with the past before we're ready to like be playful, to be present, to, you know, to be able to wow. You guys just keep getting this energy of a new deep soul connection. I am just going to clarify. Is this new or is this old? Wow. Okay. I wanted to clarify the soulmates twin flames energy to know, is this a past person or is this a new person? And the clarification I got is the Knight of Cups with the 9 of Pentacles with the Lover's card and then the 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So it's not really telling me new or old, is it? Right? It's just telling me this is someone coming toward you ready to wear their heart on their sleeve. You know, right? They are coming in a genuine fashion. I actually feel like kind of ready for love. I do also feel with the 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, for some of you, this is someone who's coming in ready to fight for this. It may, for some of you, even be someone that you had at one point blocked. They're seeing a future with you. You have the 3 of Wands under the 7 of Wands. For others of you, this is someone who may be kind of waiting for you to put your guard down or to, like, it's kind of giving me this energy of someone who's kind of like trying to flirt with you or let it be known that they kind of like you, and you're either dismissing it or ignoring it, or, you know, they feel like there's some kind of energetic blockage there, and they may be waiting for you to kind of put that down so that they can make progress towards you. For others of you, you're emerging from a period of time where you have had to battle a lot of obstacles in life, and where you have kind of grown into this space where you are used to sort of defending your own ground or taking care of yourself, or, you know, sort of, it's, you know, focusing on yourself and building your own stability and your own strength, and sort of not really letting other energies get that close to you. There is a strong soulmate coming in. Lovers, and that is clarifying soulmates twin flames. It's just saying, what, it doesn't matter if it is old or if it is new. It is a soulmate. Okay. You had the 9 of Pentacles and that 7 of Wands, and you have this home sweet home, happy, settled, content, private time kind of a vibe. I feel as though there is this energy of, you know, I've sort of cocooned. I've sort of made this comfortable, safe space for myself in the world. And letting someone in is not always the easiest thing when you're content, comfortable, and happy. When you get to the 9 of Pentacles, you are those things. You are feeling pretty solidly about your life. And anything that you introduce to it has the potential to rock that boat, right? You do have daydreaming of him again. He's so cute, so sexy. You know, this, obviously, it's not really gender specific, but it's just saying that, you know, you find yourself thinking about this person. You find yourself kind of wondering, you know, what it would be like, or what they are like, or what could actually happen. You guys are closing out a really powerful cycle, and you are starting to see how, like, everything is kind of coming together. Everything is kind of connected. The timing, the progress you've made in your spiritual life, the cycles that you have completed, you know, possibly even the astrology of it. This is Mercury retrograde, so if this is a past person coming back, it's kind of like everything is aligning so perfectly. With a Magician here, it definitely doesn't have to be a past person, okay? It definitely can be a brand new space. But this is either you, or this is them, or this is both of you, kind of a mirrored energy of two really probably pretty empowered people who have developed some skills in navigating the space of relationships or having relationships. It does feel like I'm coming into a new situation feeling more qualified than I ever have, is sort of the vibe that I'm getting. And I'm kind of seeing and realizing how everything is really related. Actually, I'm gonna leave that right there. And how it kind of had to work out this way, or how this is different than times in the past, because I can see how well aligned this is, or maybe how they're ready and how I'm ready, and how my personal individual path is in a timeline where I could, where I've created something substantial for myself or something, and I could really allow someone new into my life, or I have space for this in my life, or you know what I mean? It's hard for me to tell. Like, maybe you've been very career focused, or maybe very spiritually focused, or you've been on a healing journey. And it's like right now, it's like you find a new job, you feel you're turning the corner in this healing journey. You find that you're more playful and more open to, connections with people. And it all sort of comes together and culminates in this period, which is making you, it's like supporting this energy of saying, well, maybe I am ready to kind of transmute this, personal safe space into a love nest, into a space for both of us to explore the potential and the possibility here. Wow, okay. I feel like for some of you, it feels as though you may not know where you're going, or you may not kind of know what direction you're facing, or how do I want to say this? It's kind of, this can also be like, well, I'd really like to be in a relationship, but I have no idea who that would be, or like where that would come from. You may even be seeking an answer from the universe to a question, like, is my past person coming back? Or is this really over? Or will I ever find love? Or what should I stay with this job, or should I find something new? Regardless of what question or what decision you're trying to make, or if you are asking the universe for help, it seems like the answers are all coming in here with the Eight of Wands. And this could be a job offer coming in, or it could even be multiple job offers coming in. This can be communication from a past person. It comes seemingly out of nowhere with the moon. It's like I'm looking toward my future, and it's kind of unknown. I'm asking, the universe, potentially, you don't have to be, but I am picking up on that pretty strongly here. Like, really asking for possibly even a sign, or asking for movement, or asking even for validation that it will be okay, or that you've made the right choice, or that you've made the right decision, or that the decision that you're thinking of is the right one. I could go on and on here with this energy for some reason. So that could also be relevant. You may have been going on and on with this. This may be something that you've just sort of mulled over so much and not been able to really find a definitive answer for yourself. Like, it's just not revealing itself with the moon card. It's still unclear to you. So that could be what is causing you to sort of reach out to the universe, if you are doing that. But it does feel like your answers are within reach. They are coming. With the Eight of Wands, this is Cupid's arrows, right? So this could even be all of a sudden you meet someone that, you find yourself thinking about. There's a new barista at Starbucks, and you're like, whoa, for some reason I felt something, or however it can be. I mean, it happens everywhere all the time in the most unexpected places. It comes out of nowhere, and that's what this looks like. You know, you could receive a job opportunity or an offer, or have an old friend talk to you and say, hey, you know, a position just opened up in my company, and it just sounds like the perfect thing for you, or I thought about you right away when I heard about it. I think you should apply. I'll put in a good word for you. You know, like something that just emerges out of the thin air. You know, it really could be that way. Like just a new person in your life, a new friend in your life, a new job opportunity in your life. This feels like what is coming toward you, and this is meant to come toward you at this time. It also is meant to emerge out of the unknown. I am actually getting that this is significant because there's something here about having faith or deepening your faith. Like if you could just see it coming, or you just knew that it was going to happen, or there was never any mystery involved in it, it's like you wouldn't have fully, almost like even realized your own true potential to kind of co-create with the universe is what it's given me. We have also had this succession of supermoons. This is really interesting. The moon is being clarified by the Six of Swords and the like Judgment card, and then the Eight of Swords is on the bottom of the deck. And this is, you know, how I just said to you, there is this like learning to trust the divine, or understanding that you are a co-creator with the universe. With the Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it's giving me this energy of, you know, kind of being stuck in a pattern, or like, I don't even know how to really say this, but if it's like convincing yourself, or allowing yourself to be convinced by someone else's limited beliefs. So either getting stuck in your own limited belief system, or having someone else, it's really powerfully showing me this, of someone else's limited belief system. What it's giving me literally is allowing yourself to be influenced by someone else's limited belief system. Kind of like you recognize in this person their limited belief system, or the way fear is driving their decisions or their life. And then you are allowing that to almost keep you stuck, or sort of put you in the same sort of cycle. And the thing is, it's unintentional. At first, when you witness it, when you see it, and you kind of name it, and you go, oh, that person's in like kind of a fear-based belief system, or a limited belief system. It's like you could see it when you initially came into contact with it. But you thought because you saw it, it wouldn't affect you. And it did end up infecting you. And it did end up putting you into some kind of cycle that you're rising out of now. Okay? So it can either be your own limited belief system, or the other. Or it could even be that you're being influenced by someone else caused you to develop your own limited belief system. And what it's giving me is like being stuck in a situation where you keep thinking you have no choice. You always have a choice. So it's like I keep going around the same sort of thought and I keep ending up in the same place that I don't have a choice. And it's like a very disempowered energy. Okay, and then you have the Judgment and the Six of Arrows with this Moon card. Making the choice to choose the unknown, to say, maybe it's a relationship, right? And you're saying, I don't know if I'm going to find somebody else. I don't know what, but I know this isn't it for me. And so I will step into the unknown. You know, I'm going to break out of that limited belief system that I have to stay with this person because there won't be anyone else for me or whatever it is. Like that's just literally an example, okay? And then it's showing me like you take one step into the unknown and that immediately breaks the cycle. But you are you have completed that cycle, okay? But you haven't yet begun a new cycle. You're in the unknown. It's literally showing me like you're in the unknown. This can be confusing. It can be dark. It can test your own will, your strength to keep going, to trust. And this happens on purpose to raise you up spiritually, to get you to the place where you know through your own experience in a way how powerful you are and just how deeply the divine does reside within you. Like that is what it's giving me. And it is my stomach. I feel it in my stomach. I feel almost like butterflies in my stomach. I just feel this feeling of just like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, and you have the Six of Arrows here, which is the Six of Swords, which is saying, I may have really learned or taught myself or become someone who is able to go through the choppy waters and navigate myself safely to peace and acceptance, to calm waters. I can do that for myself. And this is what, and part of this is through faith. Part of it is through belief in the divine and in yourself and in seeing the divine in yourself, okay? This is like what is going on with this message, okay? But it is really, it's like I am trying to be so careful about the way I'm saying it because it's coming through this way. Okay, so you may be searching for an answer of where do I go next? And even feeling sort of alone in the darkness or, you know, searching for light, right? Or the answer. And you may have gone through many cycles where you just could not, you've thought and thought and thought, but you could not find the answer for yourself with that Eight of Swords. And now you're just saying, I'm trusting, I'm surrendering, and that's bringing you into this calm. And as you're doing this, the universe is like, okay, now we're ready for that new beginning. And here it comes. You see that? It's pretty crazy how tarot explains things. Also, what is giving me something important here, which may or may not be important, but you have, I don't know why I said that, but the flowers on the Two of Wands are the same flowers as the flowers on the normal Magician card. And you did get, I pulled from a Major Arcana deck, and you got the Cosmos, which is uniquely its own card from this deck, which is talking about the connection of all things, and the Magician card. And now that I see this, it's saying to me, now we're empowered to actually step up to the crossroads and know which way to go. You are getting the King of Wands. My God, the King of Wands knows what they want and they go in that direction. On the bottom of the deck, you have the Nine of Cups. So you are saying here, I am choosing the way that makes me, that speaks to my own self-contentment. This is almost, for some of you, you may have put yourself on the back burner. It's showing me like deprioritized your own happiness, or you know, if it made someone else happy and it made you happy, then it was okay. But doing something just for the sake of my own happiness, just me with me, this may be possibly a newer energy. It's giving me like an earthquake. Like and I don't know like how to really say what this is feeling, but it's like this is a powerful moment in your own life where you are saying I matter, and it's like causing the earth to quake. Okay, it's changing the entire landscape of the material world for you. Okay. Sorry, guys, I gotta drink my smoothie. And sometimes the straw does something funky. We're facing our fear. We're facing our fear, and we're not allowing it to make us feel imbalanced. Yeah, we're, you know, it's almost an energy of sitting with it, with the Moon card and the Five of Pentacles. It's like there's nothing particularly reassuring me from the outside world. Like I'm not seeing like the outside world just laying cornucopias at my feet. I am learning to sit with my fear without allowing it to make me feel imbalanced, or like I'm juggling, or like I need to make a decision, a frantic, chaotic sort of energy of like, well, I'll just do this, or I'll just like that. I'm learning to regulate my own system and kind of ask myself, what do I want? What is the best possible outcome? And focus more on my desire and where I want to go than my fear. This is like so powerful. I don't know how to describe it. Wow. This is a place where you've gotten tripped up in the past, where maybe you where you kind of made a decision to sort of break a cycle, or you felt the nudging, or you even allowed yourself to acknowledge the nudging that like, I need to do something different, or I need to break free of this limited belief system that's keeping me stuck. But knowing it, seeing it, and doing it are really different, and this is where you are actually breaking free of that energy, of that cycle, right? You have the World card, first of all, which is telling you this is a cycle that you're completing. The Five of Bows is here, which is the Five of Wands, which is saying like, this is where I've gotten stuck in the past. This is where I haven't really fully been able to close out this cycle in the past. I've gotten close, or I've known I needed to, or I have tried to, but then it sort of throws me into this Eight of Swords where I keep seeing all the problems and the dilemmas with it, or there's a part of me that's attracted to the comfort of knowing rather than not knowing. And so I've kind of gone back to it. I haven't really been willing to sit with my fear or face my fear completely. But you have the Knight of Pentacles here, and I love this placement of the Knight of Pentacles. You know, with the Knight of Pentacles with me, it's like, it's hard. I may not know where I'm going, but I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other. I don't need to see the entire staircase. I just need to put one foot in front of the other. And eventually that is going to add up and it will be meaningful. And the Knight of Pentacles is the knight guaranteed to cross the finish line. You have the Seven of Wands. Remember, we saw that earlier with this Five of Pentacles. This is giving me this energy of fight, you know, like kind of learning to stand your own ground and sort of fight the obstacle as it appears. This Five of Wands obstacle as it appears, like choosing to dismantle it every time it shows up. So it's not about going into the space and just like kumbaya, I believe in the universe and I believe the universe resides in me and I'm moving through this space. It is being human, right? And acknowledging that the fear exists. The Five of Pentacles for me is the basic human fears that we all have as human beings. And it's saying, you know, regardless of what I do or what I believe, I'm still navigating as a human. And so as a human, naturally and normally, these things are going to present themselves, and this will always be some space that I have to navigate. I'm developing the tools to not let those fears kind of shut me down. And because, you know, on one hand, the Seven of Wands is blocking our flow. It's a blockage. It's blocking energy, right? And that can be to protect ourselves, right? To stand our ground. But on the other hand, the Seven of Wands is fighting for what we want. And it's like, sometimes, you know, fear presents itself as a challenge. So that it's almost like the way we know our own strength. We know how scared we were and we know we did it anyway and we overcame it and we conquered it. And it's sort of developing that muscle as you navigate this space, staying true to what you want, staying focused on what you desire rather than what you're afraid of, prioritizing this over this. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This Ten of Pentacles feels profound because it feels as though you've already begun this journey. You've already begun establishing this legacy, this solid, stable path to abundance. It's like you are laying out the groundwork and you are practicing the dance moves. You know, you are, it's like following the yellow brick road. It's like now you are on this path towards something really seriously meaningful and something that you've been searching for your whole life. And it is generating from a deep well within you, a deep desire to experience something different, a deep desire to make your life matter and have a deeper meaning. I mean, the way that this is coming through for me is really being in touch with, you know, your highest and best self, which, you know, it doesn't mean I am perfect and I never make mistakes, or I am perfect and the way just opens up for me. But it says, you know, this choice that I'm making is to take a step with this, you know, Knight of Pentacles energy in a direction. And that step is such an act of bravery because, you know, it is, of course, easier to stay with the path that you know. It is easier to stay in the limited belief system. It becomes like an echo chamber. And while it may make you delusional and it may separate you from the true experience of living, it is still like a safe little place for you. And so when you say boldly to the universe, you know what? That's not really working out for me. That's not really giving me the results I want. And I actually know that I can probably do better for myself than that. And you say, I'm breaking this cycle and I'm going to take a step in the right direction. And every time that blockage that sent me back into it in the past shows up, I'm going to hone my skills to persevere, basically. And this is how you create what is most meaningful in your life. Like this choice and this continued choice and this listening to the desire you have to experience something different. This is a doozy of a reading. Holy crap. Oh my God. You are choosing to no longer suffer. That's what you're choosing. You are choosing to, you were in a path, a pattern, a stuck place. I'm going to go back to what I'm saying here. You know what is so crazy? This keeps coming up. Last night I was meditating, and remember yesterday I was telling you the story of my friend who had that situation happen at work where someone else was given an opportunity that she really wanted, and she felt like it was kind of, I'll call it political, but you know what I mean. And it was hard for her to deal with it because it wasn't truly based on her merit or not. It was this sort of, unfair situation. And I had told her the story of Dana Reeves and how life isn't fair. And that was what she realized for her life experience, is that life isn't fair. Stop expecting it to be. Your life will be a lot better place when you realize it's not fair and you just acknowledge it, you just admit it, and you stop expecting it to be fair. It isn't that life is fair and that always the good thing happens. It is that it all works out. That's karma. It all works out. It all balances out. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it balances out in the end. You don't get to pick which times you win and which times you lose. It will work out. And you got to trust that, right? But sometimes we will get stuck in these thought processes of, life isn't fair. And they keep us going back around. And when I told my friend that, and I walked through the process with her, with my philosophy, which when my friends call me, they know exactly what they're going to get from me. You know what I mean? Like they're calling me because they know that I'm going to say these things to them. And they'll even sometimes be like, I know you're going to do this. And so that there's a part of them that wants that. You know what I'm saying? And so I give it to them. And, I'm not saying I know what is right or best in this world. I only know through my own experience these certain things, right? Like, this is what I have discovered and what I've learned and what I've been taught. And this is what has worked for me, right? That doesn't mean that it is the answer for everyone. And it doesn't mean that it always works. I don't know. All I can do is just tell you what I get. And so anyway, like a week later, she called me back and was like, thank you. I did think a lot about what you were saying, and, I wasn't ready to hear it when you said it. But now, now that some time has passed and I've really let it settle, and I really have come to this place where, yeah, you're right, life isn't fair. And that, maybe the problem is with me continuously expecting it to be fair, or wanting it to be fair, or needing it to be fair. And then that's not really accepting life on life's terms. And maybe I need to release that. Maybe I need to kind of let that go. Maybe I need to know that, everything does really happen for a reason, and trust that more. So anyway, last night I was meditating after your reading, after I told that story, and I got that part of the reason I told that story is because we're not always ready. We're not all, like it would be lovely if we suffered and it brought up a lot of thinking within us, and we were able to just name it and go, oh, that's just me expecting life to be fair, or that's just me, whatever, you know what I mean? And then we could just like let it go and then move on. Wouldn't that be nice? And I think sometimes when you listen to tarot card readings and, and or spiritual teachings and or whatever, it feels like it should be like that. There's that word should, right? Which is always an indicating factor that like that's not good, like don't shit on yourself, or don't shit on life, or don't shit on anyone else, but the fact of the matter is that when we suffer, when something hurts us, okay, we are human, and part of our process is to think about it. Part of our process is to process it, to go through the ifs, ands, the buts, and hopefully the drive or the intention behind that process is, what is this trying to teach me? I found that when I really embraced that, and when that was the first thing I asked myself, I found that my way through the suffering much faster. And with much more ease, because I realized the suffering was not in vain. I realized that the suffering was for a purpose. It was teaching me something, and that all I needed to do was figure out what it was teaching me, and then I could let it go. I wouldn't have to get stuck in the cycle anymore. And so as a result, a lot less things actually affect me. I still observe them, I still see them, but I'm not like, upset by them, where I don't need to like lash out about it or vent about it, or you know what I mean? I just sort of see it. I just acknowledge it, Anyway, this is breaking this cycle, but until you're ready. And this is the thing, as an air sign, I can tell you the 8 of Swords can actually be a space for us to heal. Sometimes we just need to let the dust settle. And so we can sometimes get locked in these thought processes, especially around suffering, that keep us kind of stuck. And part of that is because we're not ready. We're not ready to just get over it and move on. We have to go through the stages of mourning, of grief, of whatever. There is at times almost a protective quality about the 8 of Swords, where it's like you need to take the time you need to take. You don't need to rush yourself. You don't need to rush the process. My grandma always used to say, haste makes waste. And for some reason that's coming to me, like sometimes if you rush the process, you have to go through it again. You have to eventually learn it again because you didn't really get it all. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like being kind to yourself is a message that I'm getting and saying, it takes as long as it takes. Maybe I'm not ready to move on to the next stage, but I know there is a next stage. I know sometimes that's all we need to know, is that this isn't a cycle that we are going to be locked in indefinitely. I think sometimes when we suffer, we think I'll never be the same. I'll never get over this. I'll never be able to trust someone again. I'll never be able to, like have a meaningful relationship again, or I'll never be able to this, or I'll never be able to that. And when we, never and always are definitely words to kind of, they're really almost never true, right? Always and never are almost never true. Almost always never true, right? Because they're such extremes. And so there are very few things we can say about that. The human spirit, or like even our soul spirit, is so resilient. And it craves growth. It craves new experiences. It craves, just like our entire universe is constantly in a state of change. That is the natural flow of life itself. And so, it isn't sort of natural for us to get stuck in a place of stagnancy and just be there forever, right? You know, my mom told me that her mom told her when she was having babies to just tell herself over and over again, this too shall pass. You're not going to get locked in a stage of just giving birth forever in this pain. It will subside. It will go away. And then you will have this beautiful little baby at the end of it, right? So there's this kind of, it's just giving me that, like, sometimes just knowing that there is something else, and there is something beyond this suffering, and there is something beyond this mental loop, and that you will free yourself, or you can free yourself, or possibly even time and space will free you, or will bring you to the place where you are ready to make this decision to say, no more, I want something different. You can then have a different experience. And we see that just so beautifully, right? With the Fool card energy. This is the beginner mind. This is the beginning of everything. And so, you know, while we're closing out this cycle, we don't have to do anything, right? But it can just sometimes be helpful to remember that there is, you know, every ending is a new beginning, and that, you know, we will be able to eventually not be bogged down by these thoughts. We will make a choice to move on, and we will find our way if we stay dedicated to that choice and persevere it, which is what I see happening in this reading. It's a very powerful reading. Then you have the Two of Cups. So definitely heavy on decision making here, but the Two of Cups is kind of saying, once you take this leap of faith and you trust the universe and you allow the transformation to take place, he's got that white rose from the Death card. I keep seeing that white rose from the Death card, white rose from the Death card in every reading. And I don't normally, but he's holding it right there, the Fool card is. And it's also the white flower from the Two of Wands and from the Magician, right? So I allow the transformation to take place. I allow myself to, you know, make this choice and free myself from where I am stuck and stagnant. And now I'm ready for the adventure. Now I'm stepping out with a new energy into, like, the great unknown, or the world. And I'm trusting the universe, which, you know, we saw that whole thing with the Moon card and the clarification of that. And now we're seeing this. And once we do this, the people show up, healthy relationships show up, you know, situations that allow us to discover trust with another person all over again in a positive environment, or a positive way, or in a space that is trustworthy. You know, I don't know that, like, you know what I'm saying? Though that appears, that comes to you. Wow. Wow. Guys, this reading is out of complete control. It is like, okay, I don't know, Pisces, you are passing through some gates right here. You are going through some kind of portal into some other kind of place. I just kind of want to say, like, your life as you know it is changing in a really good way, in a, like, a, I don't like to say good or bad, but like in a really beautifully, organically, evolutionarily enlightening kind of way. It's like gorgeous. It's like, this is what happens when you free yourself. You have the King of Swords, clarifying the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords. This is, I master my own thoughts. The kingfisher is the bird on this deck. Can you see it? I absolutely love the belted kingfisher. We have them in Florida, and sometimes you'll see them, you know, as you're driving, and they dive into the water. And, you know, that takes a tremendous amount of trust. if the kingfisher was sitting on they like sit on the electrical wire, if they were sitting on that wire and they were really thinking, okay, I'm going to dive down into this water at like, I don't know, I bet like 50, 60 miles an hour, and I'm going to catch a fish. You know, their thoughts would probably prevent them from doing that. But that is the way they survive. That is the way they eat. That is the way they fish and hunt. And so, you know, they master their thoughts. They give in to their kind of intuitive self that tells them this is how you catch your food. They don't sit and think about it and override their intuition with their thinking mind. They just go for it. You know, they just do it, and they trust that instinct. And there is an instinct welling up here, or that has welled up for you, Pisces, or that you've already acknowledged and moved through, that is telling you, I want a different experience. You know, I want to override this thinking mind and the stagnancy that it causes, and the, you know, how it convinces me that I can't trust anyone, or how it convinces me that, you know, life is suffering, or how it convinces me that, you know, if I put my heart out there, it's only going to end in me suffering. Like, I want to override that. I want to trust my intuition. I want to allow myself to be led. I want to live the life that is really intended for me, or like, I don't know if it's like intended for me, or like that I was born for, you know what I mean? Like, that is programmed inside of me. I want to tap into that. And trust it. And be brave. And not let my thoughts stop me. And here you have the Two of Wands from the beginning of the deck, with the Five of Cups, clarifying this Fool card. And this is saying, you know, the Five of Cups is this energy of, you know, always looking to the past, and always kind of looking at what went wrong, and our suffering and our shame and our guilt and our regrets, and the things we wish we would have done, and the things we wish we wouldn't have done. And the thing, you know, and it's like, we cannot go back and change that. We can't do anything about it. We can't fix it. We can't do anything except learn from it, ask, what is this trying to teach me, and move the hell on. And, you know, we can't let it dictate our present and our future. Well, we absolutely can, but you're making the choice not to, because you got the Two of Wands with the Fool card here. You're saying, you know what? I'm marching into the future as if my past didn't really happen. And the thing is, it's not as if it didn't really happen. It's as if I'm no longer suffering because of it. I've come to a place of peace and acceptance. I've released it, and I'm not going to let it dictate to me the choices that I make from here on out. I'm just not going to. I'm going to trust and believe that there are really positive things in front of me, and relationships that are, you know, going to be healthy, that healthy relationships exist, you know? Then you have the Ace of Cups here. Geez, underneath the Ace of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. This is just such a powerful reading. This is, you know, this is the universe saying, okay, here's your opportunity. And it is also self-love and healing that leads to these kind of relationships. Okay, you know what? I feel like I'm going to leave that there. That is just, I like, oh my, you know, it's come full circle. A lot of twos in this reading, Pisces. So 222, 2222. That you have, let me just see. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 twos. Here showing up, and also the High Priestess is the number 2, so that's your card, but that's not showing up, but you know what I'm saying. So just be on the lookout for twos as confirmations, potentially even 2222. Did I just tell you 4 twos? I don't know. If you're dealing with a water sign, I am working on myself, hopeful, controlling, excited. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you're getting annoyed. I regret how I handled things before. Wait for me. I want your attention. If you are dealing with an earth sign, oh my goodness. Okay. You are getting, I don't want to let you down. You are the one. Angry. What we have is soul recognition. I'm ready for more than just text, and you are hard to forget. And if you're dealing with an air sign, you are getting twin flames. You give me so much to look forward to. You changed my whole direction. If I had only known then what I know now, I won't let you go. Pisces, wow. I mean, I don't know. This reading really got me today. I hope that it is meaningful for you. I hope that it brings you some peace and some clarity. And wow, again, I am so grateful to be on this path with you. I have learned and learned and learned as well, along with you. Or whatever. Okay. So anyway, I am just super grateful, and thank you for being here. And I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.